I'm not a live wire tonight. Good evening. Welcome to the Glasgow Polo Live for loads of music, memories, and mayhem, usually on the after show Zoom. My name is Scott MacArthur, sat here in my little cupboard in the Cotswolds.
My name is Andy Muir. Good evening. And I'm sitting in Sydney somewhere.
Sitting in Sydney somewhere.
At an undisclosed location.
He moves every week, so we kind of catch him.
James may be watching.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. As always, welcome to the show. If you're a first timer, please put your name in the chat and let us know where you are. I'll stick a little thing in the chat in a minute that helps you if you're coming in from the Glasgow Polo Facebook group, because if you don't click this, we can't see your name, and it's really monotonous when we keep having to say. Facebook user says, last week we had over 200 comments. That's the first time we've gone over 200, mate. 200.
Right. Okay,
unbelievable,
cool.
On a live show. I mean, geez. How do these people cope when they've got thousands and thousands of people like Rick Beato? How does he cope with it? I have no idea. So,
got someone to do it for him.
Well, yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need an apprentice. We need an apprentice. That's what I'm going. Oh, I quite fancy the idea of that.
I don't think we're there yet.
No, I know. One has to have aspirations. Anyway, how's your week been? Have you had a good week?
It's been fine. Yes, been fine. Yeah, it's been fine. It's been fine. Yeah, been doing stuff. Yeah, listen to music. What have you been listening to?
Oh, I've had a Nightwish fetish this week. I've just moving on. I love that woman Fleur. I think she's amazing. What a singer.
I'll tell you what I've been listening to. Thanks for asking. I've been listening to.
I was going to you wee shite.
I've been listening to Danielle Nicole Band.
I saw that. I saw one of the tracks that you and your mate were talking about. Yeah, good voice.
Yeah. Brilliant voice.
Good voice.
American blues. Blues? Yeah, blues.
Piano-y, bluesy sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no piano, but good.
So I thought I heard a piano when or maybe it's something else you were listening to. I heard.
Yeah.
Because
I listened to listened to a couple of the bands that we're going to talk about in a wee while.
Oh,
and I'll tell you about them when we're talking about them.
Are you currently searching for the bands? I bet you are currently searching for the bands. Anyway, let me just.
No.
Okay.
It's already there, mate. It's already up.
All these lovely people saying hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Let me just put this little thing up. If you got some nice news this week as well about stuff, which I'm not going to tell you at the moment. Now, so if you're coming in from the Facebook group, you'll see right at the top of the Facebook group, I post it every week. What did I do this week? I put the black and white picture of Outside the Apollo with Billy Connolly on it. That's the one I'm meaning. And in there's a link, and this is it here. And it just means if you're new to the group, if you click that, 3 clicks, and your name will appear in the chat. Like what Derek has done here, Derek McAdam, he's done it, and he's saying, hi guys, hi Derek, how you doing? We've also got hellos from Raymond. Hi Raymond, how you doing? James is here. Oh, help. Ricky Price, good evening. Oh, there we go. From Snakebite City. Where's that, Ricky? Where's Snakebite City? Is that somebody taking the mickey at me again? I think it is. Is that Dundee? There you go. Facebook user Russell, how you doing? Russell Spence in sunny Stonehaven by the sea. I used to work in Peterhead.
Hey! I spent many an evening in Peterhead.
Ian Bamford. I once had to raid a house. I once raided a house in Peterhead where some of our workers were living, and there was meant to be 6 people in the house, and they were amazing workers. They were brilliant workers. They were from Poland. There was 45 of them in the house, and a lot more bottles of vodka. It was quite interesting. Good evening, Ian. How you doing? Well, John here's again. Hi, John. Thanks very much for coming in again, John. John's book, which I've got behind me, you'll see behind me there. Quirky, very good. We talked about it last week. Really enjoyed it. And back for more intellectual informed entertainment. That should be our strapline, Andy.
Is he on the wrong channel? Yes.
Dave's here. Dave Wilson, hi. How you doing? And Bond's here as well. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in again, Tommy, as always. So this week we've got. Last week we went a bit pop. This week we're not. It's probably metal. Certainly a bit of it's metal. Really, really metal. And then we've got some pure class at the end. But Andy doesn't even know what they are because I haven't told him.
I mean, We did. I've been up for hours trying to get some information out of you.
What was the truth? The truth is he slept in and he only just got to the chair during the intro. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Slept in.
Slept in. Anyway, so why don't we do this? Who played this week? I think that's what we should start with. Yeah.
Oh, we do that bit first. Okay, good.
We always do that bit first.
Continues to surprise me that we do this every week. That's why.
We do the same order every week. I've got it written down here. I've got a thing. Right.
Oh, you've got a running order.
I've got a running order. I have. I can even show you. Look.
No, don't.
Here's Jim. Jim saying hi, Scandy. That's quite good. It's better than Skanky.
Is that Scott and Andy?
No.
Yes, it is.
Of course it is. Look. Running order. Look. See it. Running order.
Oh,
on the top there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop. You're giving away the secrets.
And then Cheryl's saying hello, Cheryl. Thanks for joining us as always.
Right.
And Derek just said, just let me finish with the slept in for the night shift. Aye, yeah, absolutely, Derek. So anyway, thanks everyone for
this is the morning shift, mate. The morning shift.
Right. Let's see who played this week.
Right, this week, Slade, 2 dates. I didn't listen to Slade this week, but I should have. Oh, I did. I listened to the start of their concert from 1982. That's how a bit nerdy I was yesterday.
Is that a rescued recording? Is there a rescued recording of that?
There probably is, but I found it somewhere. I had it before. It's all right. It's very dearly beloved. We are gathered here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. He's a good shouter, man. Oof.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Belter. He's a belter. Slade, yes, and then Mud. That would have been a fun gig, I bet. Mud gig. Slade would have been brilliant, but Mud would have been funny too. Fun. Would it be fun? It would be fun. You know. What did they do? What songs did they do?
That's neat. Little love your tiger feet.
Oh, brilliant. Forgot that. Top of the Pops special.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Back my Turner Overdrive with Thin Lizzy. Why wasn't I there? Oh yeah, I was too young.
Too young.
Yeah.
That would have been a hell of a gig that way.
That would have been brilliant. Yeah. I hope that like I said that on the post the other day. That was their second time because I think they supported Slade. I think yes, they supported Slade before. Slade or Status Quo could have been an S group. Anyway, that would have been a fantastic gig. I'm telling you, that would have been brilliant. Slade again.
Yeah.
Slade again.
Sounds like a live album.
Sounds like an album. Or is it Slade Alive? Is it Slade again?
Slade Alive. What an album. Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. They did another 2 gigs, unless I've got my dates wrong. And oh no, yeah, I might have got the dates wrong. But if anyone knows that I've got the dates wrong, let me know and I'll fix it up. Sensational Alex Harvey Band. That would have been a great week.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Did you Sky Band? Oh no, Sky Band. What were they?
Don't know.
And Pilot. That would have been. Was that? I'm sure that was filled with people watching Pilot. But they were probably at their. What was that? I've forgotten the song they had. Someone's going to tell me. Leo Sayer, Neil Slofgren, Tony Bennett, and Rick Wakeman.
That's not bad, is it?
What an eclectic collection of people. You know, I did watch a bit of Leo Sayer last night. I didn't watch any Neil Slofgren. I should have though. And Tony Bennett, man, these gigs are mental. In 1 week, you go from Leo Sayer, Neil Slofgren, Tony Bennett to Rick Wakeman. I did listen to Rick Wakeman. Magic. Well done. Well done, Ian Bamford, Quizmaster General. Oh, it's magic. Yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I did listen to a bit of Rick Wakeman. Wow. Never listened to Rick Wakeman. Yeah, that was a bit mad, that album. I listened to the first 10 minutes and thought, I need to go to sleep. This is too.
It's not as discordant as Yes could be, but it's still quite discordant.
It's not discordant. I think it's just there's a lot of notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot the melody.
Yeah. The Eagles and the Valerie Carter Band. Well, I read on one of the posts the other day that was a really busy gig, and the bouncers were making a hefty profit that night.
That was Jerry. Jerry Boyle said that.
Yeah. But I listened to the Valerie Carter Band. I'd never heard of her. I listened to 2 of her albums.
Good grief,
I
that's
like her.
dedication.
She's very good.
Is
She's
she?
got, I like her. Yeah, well, she's great. She's really good. And she died in 2017. She's only 64, so.
Oh dear.
But she wrote songs with lots of people, sang with everyone, I think. And on that album, my first album, Wild Child, most of Toto played on it. So,
Really?
yeah, I don't know if they did the tour, but
Right.
that would have been weird if Toto
Those
played.
boys can play their music, their instruments, can't they? They're
Yeah,
amazing.
there's this track in the bass. Oh, the bass playing is just superb. Superb, as Tom Russell says. Superb. McGuinn, Hillman, and Clark, and the Shadows played. I listened to McGuinn, Hillman, and Clark, a bootleg actually from. So I did listen. I did do my homework. I did listen to a bootleg from Sydney. It was.
Who are these guys? I don't know who they are.
Roger McGuinn. You don't know Roger McGuinn? He was in the Birds.
Oh, right.
And I've forgotten who the other Hillman is, and I've forgotten who Clark is, but I think they were a bit folky, a bit jangly, because that's what the album sounded like. It was a bit folky, jangly, poppy.
Right.
Rocky. It was all right. It was okay. It was like the Birds, but not. The Shadows twanged their way in 1977. I bet you that was a great gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Birds. Sorry, the Birds. There you go. They were in the Birds. James McCann tells us this.
Good for them. Fly on, mate. Fly on.
I was actually distracted by James saying, "Don't slag Rick Wakeman. I bloody love Rock Wakeman."
Oh.
Okay, good.
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, he's on the Fanta again. Telling you.
Yeah. Well, there were Shadows. Probably really be great gig. Any Shadows fans in tonight?
A bit of cool moves. Remember the moves they used to do?
Down. Yes, doing the little 4-step thing, 2-step, whatever it was. Jethro Tull. That would have been. Yep, they would have been doing a good turn that night. I don't know who the support band was. If anyone knows this, please let me know. And only one gig that week, which is very odd. Iggy Pop and the Zones. I listened to a bit of the Zones, see, and I listened to a bit of Iggy Pop. And someone said in the chat, I've forgotten your name, sorry, I should take my notes, that they said that gig was a good gig, but it wasn't that busy. Yeah. But in 1979, maybe Iggy Pop wasn't. He's definitely wasn't as popular as he is now. Neil Sedaka. Yeah, oh, that's right. I was looking at the poster for this. Was it that? Yeah, I was looking at the poster for this. Derek McAdam posted a little advert from the Herald or the Evening Times or something, and it said Neil Sedaka, few seats available. And I was thinking, oh, poor Neil, he's only got a few seats left.
Oh dear.
He's only got a few seats. Oh, why not? Anyway, that's me. Also, yeah, and I saw in that there was an advert for the Tubes and Squeeze. I just thought that I thought Squeeze the Tube. I thought that was quite
good.
Anyway, carry on. That's just my stupid sense of humour.
Yeah, I can see how that would work.
And the lookalikes, the 2 nights there. I spoke to an Irish mate of mine here, and he said he'd never heard of the lookalikes, but I was trying to find out what they sounded like. But they probably would have been a rock band from Ireland. They were a rock band from Ireland, and they probably were pretty okay. But Thin Lizzy would have been playing a belter. I think that was Renegade Tour. Not exactly 100%. Derek, was it Renegade Tour?
They always played a belter.
They played a belter. Yeah. Well, they did. They probably would have. Or maybe I read somewhere that one night they had a bit too much to drink the night before, and it wasn't such a It was a bit of a lackluster gig.
Yeah.
The Tigers of Pantang and Magnum. Why didn't you go to that gig? You're a
I don't
Magnum fan.
know. I liked Magnum back then. Yeah, I really liked
Yeah,
Magnum.
yeah.
But that, and I could have gone to that.
Yeah.
Tigers of Pantang. I thought they did a cover version of that. Love Potion Number 9. Remember that? It was a good
Yes,
cover.
I did
John
remember
Sykes.
that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing them on Top of the Pops going, what the hell? Why is there a rock band on Top of the Pops?
Yeah. They were all right. They nearly made it, didn't they? They nearly made it.
Nearly made it. Still going. They're still doing tours and festivals, I reckon.
Yeah.
Status Quo with no headliner because they played about 5 hours.
We were there.
Per night, and that would have been. I mean, Status Quo did not fail to deliver in those days.
No, they did not.
Easy. And then Johnny Mathis. Because I know you'd say something if I said the word.
My head's. Yeah, you're right. I was going to say something. But you're right.
Click your tongue. Is that an expression? Click your tongue. Hold your tongue. Johnny Mathis. Pretty sure fans of his would have loved that night. And the Clancy brothers plus Tommy Mayhem. I did have a little cheeky thought that I thought they should have really been called the Singing Sweaters, but like Billy Connolly sort of takes the mickey out of Scottish bands and Irish bands like that.
Yeah.
They were all wearing Aaron sweaters and playing guitars and hey, Molly was it was all that stuff. But
precursors to Val Doonican or compatriots of Val Doonican.
Yeah. So that was like the white sweaters with the cable knit and all that stuff.
Who was it that took the mickey out of Val Doonican all the time? Morecambe and Wise.
Aye,
it was.
We should both do this at the same time.
No. Yeah, that was a good rundown. That was a good week. That. Yeah.
Good week.
Some pretty
especially
good stuff.
It's a good week. Yeah.
There's a whole load of, as always, the world, the listener is much smarter than certainly you are.
Chinatown.
There you go.
Thank you.
Aye, and Derek's saying the Total Guys were session musicians, yeah, and they played on Carter's album, yeah.
It is. It's a brilliant.
I must get hold of that because I've got quite a soft spot for Toto. I like them. Do you remember that film?
Toto, it's you can certainly hear Toto elements, and she's got a nice voice. I read that she was cursed with, what was it? She was cursed with leading lady good looks, lead singer vocals, and she did not want to be really. Didn't look like she wanted to be a real singer, and she had I think she had a bit of a run-in with drugs and stuff at one point. Yeah, but she's it was.
I shall investigate because I haven't heard of her. I remember Toto doing that much maligned, but I like it. The David Lynch film Dune, the adaptation of Dune. Toto did this theme music, and still to this day I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic piece of music. And there's a Doug over there in the States just reminding us that Hank Marvin was really critical in people's careers, like Martin Knopfler. I didn't know about Michael Schenker. I'm not surprised by that, but I didn't know that. I knew that Martin Knopfler idolizes him.
Well, I was watching a guy here called Nathan Calamari. He's a guitarist. He's a young, like about 30 years ago. He was a wee hotshot guitarist. Yeah, kid. And he had leukemia. And have you heard of the Starlight Foundation?
Aye.
Make a Wish. It's like Make a Wish or something.
Make a Wish, yeah.
And his wish was to meet Mark Knopfler. And he did. And he did. Good. And he's on his. I've been watching his tour He's doing a thing on Twitch. He does his tour was streamed. Every gig of the tour was streamed.
Oh, very good.
He does a sort of little explanation of this song, and it's a Mark Knopfler sort of tribute. It's very nice, good song, and it sounds a wee bit like, Dire Straits, but it's great. He's a great guitarist. So, Nathan Calamari.
There's a helpful piece of input from James. Neil Sedaka as a bit of cheese.
Thanks, cheese.
Quite cheddar. Nice cheese. Not my type of cheese. I'm with you.
It's not Scottish cheddar.
No. Camelton cheddar.
It's American cheese.
Facebook user, I missed Jeffrey Till 78, sold my ticket to my mate as I was at Gartnerville General having a hernia sorted. Oh my goodness.
Well, there's the wind. I think useless info. I just found out last week that Johnny Mathis did an original version of "Wild as the Wind." Well, that's funny because Valerie Carter does a version of "Wild as the Wind" too.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
You're
There's a
doing
great
well,
version after the Gold Rush too. Oh, amazing!
and Derek just keeping us up to date with the Thin Lizzy information.
Thanks, Derek.
Good.
Thanks.
Good man. As usual.
I want to thank Derek for all his input. He's been a great help.
Amazing.
Great help this week. Great help. Really, you have, Derek. Really.
So next up, we're going to look at what's been happening on the socials, mate.
What's been happening?
Right. Well.
You say stuff?
I noticed. I noticed it went to 5.3 on it's 9.3 on the website members, 9.3 thousand.
It says that, but when it goes over 2,000, when it goes over,
don't demotivate me. Don't demotivate me now.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Not necessarily.
When it goes over the 200 mark, it rounds it up.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, so we've got 50 new members this week as of this moment. That's great. Thank you for coming in.
It's amazing.
Sharing
Welcome.
your tickets, sharing your memories, or lurking around in the background reading everyone's posts. You don't have to say something. You can just read it and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that gig. That was good." But it'd be good if you just wrote down, "I was there. It was brilliant, fantastic." Yeah, I got chucked out by the bouncers, or I got chucked in by the bouncers.
Yes.
There's 9,262 members, which is amazing. Thank you very much, people. It's greatly appreciated that you come and watch, come and share your memories, and then some of you come and watch this. We should all come and watch this. It'd be great.
Actually, can you imagine if the 9,000 came on here? It'd be impossible.
It would be great.
You just have to do it differently.
I love it. It would be great fun. It would be great fun because it would be mad.
Very busy.
Yeah. So 9,262 members. Thank you very much for joining. Fabulous. Thank you very much for your continued support. We had 91 posts this week. A fair few of them were Derek and William McGachan. William, I don't know where William gets his material from, but he must have a large collection of sounds and new musical express from the 1970s and 80s. Because he's got lots of, I don't know what they're called, technical term is, but one-page spread, I guess it's called, of bands, concerts. Yeah, that would be amazing. No, it's not amazing, but it's great. So 91 posts, 1,458 comments. Thank you very much for all your comments, even if some of them are a bit
abusive.
Good. A bit abusive. No, I haven't seen any abusive, but then I don't read
any abuse this week. No, it's been good this week.
Yeah, been good. There's been no fights or anything. I did see some nice stuff between Willie Potts and someone else talking about when they knocked a wall through. Did you see that?
I think I did. Yeah.
They knocked a wall through the door at the Apollo, and a couple of them worked there. I think they were having reminiscence about how shonky it was and
how whatty it was.
Shonky.
It's not a word. You making that up?
No, shonky's a word.
Shonky.
Yeah.
Shonky.
I could say
this is the Shonky Show.
Jerry rigged. It was a bit dodgy. Oh yeah, so that was nice. That was nice to see them chatting and a wee bit of reconnection over that. 5,061 reactions, which is very good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'll give you the top three, the three max for contributions this week. Number 3, Graham McDonald. Number 2, Derek McAdam, and number 1, William McGachan. So the three max.
Very good.
They got the most of the things, most of the comments and stuff. And I'd like to say Happy birthday to my sister.
Oh,
For today, for
it's
tomorrow.
Cheryl's birthday as well.
Yeah. Oh, what's Cheryl's birthday? Happy birthday, Cheryl.
Happy birthday, Cheryl.
Hope you didn't scull that bottle of brandy in one go.
Don't go drinking with you know who. Have a bottle of brandy, a bottle of gin each.
Oh,
Right,
that would be.
things that I spotted. I thought it was good. It was the number of these, as you say, the number of posters that William and Derek are coming up with is just incredible. There's a few things that jumped out to me. There's one picture I wanted to show because I think it's really. I don't know if everybody's seen it. This one here. This is the Apollo towards the end of its time.
Not on screen. Oh, there's the yeah.
Aye, and I thought that was fantastic. Really good picture. And that was John Henry posted that. It's a Gordon Ellis picture, and there was a debate about how small the stage is. But we don't. Well, I certainly did. It's funny. I thought the same thing when I saw. Do you remember that Genesis video we showed? The clip from the stage, and it looked tiny, and it was small, but in my mind, it was massive. You know, I had this.
Well, it's massive when it's.
Well, it's high,
but wait, yeah.
But there's a story behind the Bowie thing as well. I think it was the guys from Talisman that did that for the Alvin Stardust thing.
Yeah.
And then Tommy McGrory copied that when they did the musical a few years later.
He did.
They put the Bowie on the stage thing, which I thought was quite cool. So that was John. Thanks, John. John's been a really good contributor as well, actually. Really, really good as well. Alan Turner talked about the Commodore's gig, and they were supported by the Emotions. Now, I had a right good look for anything by the Commodores. There's nothing at the Apollo. Well, I can't find anything. I would have thought that would have got recorded, 79, maybe a wee bit early for Clyde. I mean, there are recordings in the 70s, but they did more in the 80s. So that I would have been interested. I mean, it's not my type of music really, but I'd like to have seen it because I mean, obviously they're an amazing outfit, absolutely amazing outfit. What else jumped out at me? Jerry spoke about Jerry and the Eagles and how he thought it was probably the busiest gig ever. It must have been really busy because they need to give them all pillows and duvets to sit there and watch the Eagles for 4 friggin' hours. Sorry. Although,
if they were doing the song about the highway, that's a good album.
But Joe Walsh came on playing the bagpipes wearing a kilt. So as always, Joe Walsh saves the show. The Eagles. I do like him.
Did he play the bagpipes? Did he really play?
Somebody said. I'm only going by what people said, Matt. Can't
that
really.
That would have been. He's in a pipe band. When he was a kid.
And this, the Marseille gig. Where is it? Who were they supporting? Is it
on that?
No, was it further? Is it not Slade or something? But somebody was talking. Derek was talking about the Marseille, and Sue Ashcroft, who's one of the regulars. She said she ended up as Marseille's manager.
Wow.
Which I thought was pretty amazing. Yeah.
That's good.
So I remember them. I don't know who did they.
I know there's 2 Marseilles. There's a sort of there's a rock band from the 80s, and I bought their first album. I bought it at Joey Adams.
Right. I remember Joey Adams in Carluke High Street.
Joey Adams TV shop in the High Street in Carluke.
There's a Barbers as well. There's a Barbers as well through the back.
No, not Joey
I've been there for years. It was. I'll get my dad to send you a text. The other one that tickled my fancy was William McGacken posted the girls.
Flex.
Sorry?
That was Flex.
Flins.
That was a barber.
Both wrong. Anyway, William McGacken posted the girls' school concert from 1982. And it sounds amazing. And I remember it being on Radio Clyde. But I'll tell you what, they've done something to the crowd because I was there. You were there as well, weren't you?
No.
And there was nobody there. I mean, there was literally 3 rows of people
Oh,
And then
is there? I didn't see that post. Oh, I missed it. Oh.
it's a shame because I would quite like to have played it because actually it's a really good recording, but it's on an official record label, so we can't risk it.
Oh, right. Aye. Okay. I saw. Oh,
It
yeah.
is a Glasgow Radio Clyde recording, but now I
Yeah.
just thought it was funny, and it just dovetailed nicely with what Tom said about live gigs, which we will come back to in a minute or two. But
Right.
so that was they were the things that jumped out to me. A couple of other things, Andy, that I thought were quite cool. This is Derek. That's one of the posters you were talking about. There it's there, Judas Priest and Marseille.
Yeah.
There it is there.
Yeah.
But the ticket there, the 196, I've just forgotten what it was for. Derek, what was it for? But that's the first time I've seen a ticket like that handed out.
Yeah. I think he said he walked past.
Aye.
Him and his wife walked past, and I don't know if it was his wife at the time, but they just walked past and said, "Oh, who's on?" And then they just said, "Come on in and buy a ticket." So, yeah,
Quite
he went
cool.
in with a raffle ticket. Was it?
Yeah, it was Alex Harvey. That's right. It was
Alex Harvey. Yeah.
Alex Harvey. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And they sat up the back of the circle, I think.
Aye.
Yeah. Nice.
So that was the sort of quirky things that happened. We've got quite a few different tickets, haven't we? They're getting a wee bit of a collection of them now, different ones that one of the usual Apollo tickets, which I thought was quite cool. So that was it.
Yeah.
So just before we move on, we're just going to stop for a minute and just say once again, thank you very much for all your support. What we're trying to do is get some income coming in to pay for the software and stuff. So forgive us if we do this nearly every week because we just have to do it. Forgive us for that though. Coming up quite soon in June, I'm going to be doing a talk on what's called the Funzing platform, which is just an online thing you dial in. Now it'll not be like this. It'll be a completely different experience, but it's ticketed. It's £13 a ticket. All the money for that will go in to help us pay for the software and bits and pieces that we use and for all the editing and stuff that we do. So if you can manage along, we'd really appreciate it. It's just a couple of pints. Well, a couple of pints if you live in London, 3 if you live in Edinburgh. But we'd really appreciate it. That would be great. We're also still selling our merchandise. We're still looking for different suppliers. But folk are still buying it, which is absolutely fantastic. Please keep doing that, guys, because we really appreciate it. And send us more pictures where you're wearing it, because I love that. I think that's extremely cool. Extremely cool.
It's good to see. It's good to see the support.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing on the socials that we're both chuffed to bits about is that this week we got through the 100 members mark on our YouTube channel. And what that means is that we now have a YouTube name, which is that Glasgow Apollo Live. That's going to make a massive difference. It's going to draw more traffic to the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. I mean, there was 26 of you actually jumped on there within a couple of hours of us sticking a post up asking for help. So we're really, really grateful. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Delighted about it. And it's something that'll make a huge difference. It's starting to build into quite a nice little archive of the Apollo material, Andy. I'm quite happy with that channel. It's looking all right, actually. And I've noticed quite a few media people looking at it, which is good. Obviously we're going to save them a load of times. And as always, they always send us loads of money, all the media guys that have borrowed stuff from our website and stuff. But I'm not bitter at all. Not feeling very well this week, so I've got.
I remember when someone from here, someone from Sydney, took one of Robert Ellis's pictures from the site and didn't give him a credit or anything. And I was like, "Hey," I sent them a note and said, "Aye, what you did?" And they went, "Oh, it was on your website. We just took it." I was like, "Pay the man," but they didn't.
Nah. Robert is very good at looking after his pictures as well. He's been very generous to us, hasn't he? He's been brilliant with us. But he's very, very careful, and I think he's right. Because he's got some of the best photographs from that era across all the venues, but mainly the Glasgow Apollo, which is fantastic. Right, favourite bit coming up, mate. Favourite bit. Right, we've actually had a couple of people got in touch with me.
No way.
We have. They haven't sent videos yet, but they're going to, and they're going to do them hopefully this week. So, as you know, last week we announced that Andy had managed to source an extra copy of this book. Fantastic book by Russell Ledbetter. Absolutely brilliant book. And it's all about the Apollo. It's I think it's really good. I love it. He says reading it and you can't see what I'm looking at, but it's terrific. So if you send a memory from the Glasgow Apollo or the Greens Playhouse into us at apollomemories@yahoo.co.uk, you'll go into a draw at the end of this month and we'll pick out a winner, and that winner will win a copy of that book. Now, somebody on site was amazed when we said it was retailing for 100 quid. I've seen it for 150, 200 quid, so it's quite rare. So we'd love you to get your entries in, get your phones and get your entries in. It would be fantastic. On that front, I'm going to be... What? No, what? You okay now? It's okay. I don't mind. I'll shut up if you want.
Well, I'll tell you anyway. I just sent you a message on Facebook about. You remember that other book you've got there, the Greens Playhouse book?
Yeah.
If you go to Facebook, I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
That's all the guy had to say about the Apollo in the whole book.
Was it?
One paragraph.
All right. Okay.
He just said it became a menu.
Yeah. Obviously not his cup of tea.
It wasn't
not his cup of tea. Anyway, I had put on the group that I'm going to be in Glasgow, in Scotland next week in St Andrews from Tuesday. I'm not. I got it wrong. I was going to blame my dad for getting the date wrong, but it was me. It's actually the following week. So I think is that the 17th, Tuesday the 17th, I think it is. I'm going to be travelling up from the Cotswolds to St Andrews that evening. So I'll not be doing anything on the Tuesday because I'll just be going out with my parents and then I'll fall out with them. Once I've fallen out with them, I'll be free on the Wednesday and the Thursday. And I'm going to do some driving around and visiting some old Celtic stuff and that in Scotland when I'm up there. So if you're near St Andrews or if you're around the sort of Edinburgh area and you fancy a meet up for a cup of coffee or whatever, and I'll do a wee film for you, which would be fabulous. So just let me know. Just drop us a line. I'm very happy to do it. I'll do the editing and everything for you because I'm really keen to get them. But what I'm going to show is I did actually put this on the website a couple of days ago, and there's been loads of folk talking about it, and indeed so has the man himself. I'm going to show you a little clip of Tom Russell, and the bit that there was 2 or 3 bits from the interview we did with Tom Russell. If you don't know who Tom Russell is, he's DJ, and he's just a legend in terms of his time when he was at Radio Clyde in particular, where he did the rock show on a Friday night, and he also was the guy that compared the Kelvin Grove Festival, etc. So he's got a lot in our memories growing up with Tom, and it was great that he came on. So this is the bit. We just played some Thin Lizzy, and this is what Tom said. Man, did that bring back some memories, Tom?
That to me was a perfect example of where over the years record companies went wrong with so many of the live albums they would release. They would take the tapes of a live recording, they would listen and say, oh, wait a minute, the drummer was slightly out of time there for half a second, or the rhythm guitarist played a slightly bum note, and they would hone it and hone it and hone it and perfect it, and then they'd say, oh, well, the audience doesn't sound right. Let's, and they would bring in some cheering from somewhere, and by the time the album came out, there's many live albums. It's not even live. They've re-recorded the songs in the studio. But listening to that there was a perfect example of how a rescued recording, which is how it actually was on the night. And that was absolutely fantastic. I was sitting here with a tear in my eye listening to that. That was perfect. The Apollo choir in the background there, and that was just terrific.
That's an Apollo memory. That's perfect. I think that really sums it up, and it's nice that he mentioned Jack and the team for their work on Rescued Recordings, because without them collating and curating all that material, we just wouldn't have the access. It wouldn't be as easy as it is now because of the work that Jack and his team have done with Rescued Recordings. So we really appreciate it. Tom's some man, isn't he?
He's
absolutely
great.
Brilliant. So got some music for you now. Now, I deliberately left it to the end because I am honestly getting a bit nervous. Andy and I have been talking a lot about it, and I'm getting a bit nervous about us being able to continue to do this because YouTube have basically demonetized all of our shows on YouTube, all of them. Even the ones where, I mean, it was quite funny. Poor Ronnie will be disappointed. He probably heard by now, but even the one when we had our friend Ronnie Costley on, who did the song Harmony Row about the Greens Playhouse and Apollo, they demonetised that. They banned it. They blocked the video. So obviously we've appealed that. But I'm starting to worry. So this is why we didn't do some music halfway through the show. We're going to do 2 pieces of music now. Rather than what we usually do, which is play, one in the middle and one in the end. So does that sound okay to everybody? Hope that's okay. Before I do that, I'll just check the chat, and I've got one other thing I wanted to read out, Andy, which I didn't tell you about. It's nothing important. It's just interesting. James saying Tom Russell makes me greet every time I see his cooting. He is a bit like that. He's definitely a legend. He's definitely a legend.
He is.
He's an incredible man, and he's
been in our head, our collective head for
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, it's outrageous. And Ricky's saying here he bought Heavy Petting's Love to Love from Tom Russell's record shop in Shettleston in '83. You got a bloody good memory, mate. I remember the album. And this is Dave saying Tom is absolutely right about live albums being redone in the studio. Queen did it a few. So did Rush. Rush.
Yeah. Actually, I watched the video last night. It's on the group, and it's not looking good for AC/DC. For a whole lot of Rosie. You should watch it.
There's a lot of nonsense goes on. Anyway, this is nothing to do with AC/DC. In fact, it's completely the opposite. I just wanted to read this to you. This is a letter that we got from Leo Sayer. And blah, blah, blah. Leo says, it was the best and toughest gig I ever played. The Glasgow audience always let you know where you stood. With the Apollo chorus on my side, I think I played my finest ever concerts there.
Oh. Thank you, Leo.
Cool? Leo Sayer, yeah. From Silverbird Limited, which is his management company. Isn't that nice?
If you're around, because he lives in Sydney nowadays.
Does he? Oh, yeah. Right, okay. Didn't know that. Right.
Yeah.
So, we've got, I think you would say we've got a bit of a contrast in the 2 pieces of music that we've picked up this week. Oh. The first one is by a band that it's fair to say I thought they were dreadful. And over the last couple of days, I've listened to the bootleg and a couple of their albums, and I still think they're dreadful. But the band we're going to play tonight is a band called Man O' War. And I noticed there was quite a debate, Andy, on the website rather than on the Facebook group about Man O' War being spelled MONOWAR or having a big O in the middle. And it's quite interesting because the actual ticket has the O in the middle. Anyway, this lot were from New York, and they formed in 1980, and they're famous because of their sort of fantasy and mythology type lyrics. They've also been twice rated as the loudest band ever, and this fact is the one I love. They're also famous for playing the longest ever heavy metal concert in Bulgaria, when they played 5 hours and 1 minute. Can you imagine 5 hours and 1 minute of Man O' War? No. I'm sure Liam's on. He'll be jumping up and down thinking they're rock gods, but oh God. They're known for their, I remember this, I remember that they were on the tube once and they went, death to false metal, did all this stuff. Yeah. But despite all this sort of ridicule and stuff, they've sold 20 million albums, Andy. 20 million albums.
And you need a lot of money to pay for your fur-lined trunks.
And they actually
there's no denying their dedication to the heavy metal.
And I mean, they sang quite a lot about their fans, which I think is quite endearing, actually. I quite like that. And their fans love it. The 82 tour got a bit cancelled. It was mucked about a bit because they were swapping their headline piece with another band. I can't remember who it was. But they then wrote an album called Hail to England in 84, which is when they toured and when I've got this recording from. I hope they didn't go on about Hail to England when they did the gig at the Apollo. Anyway, this song...
They've actually got a Union Jack. They've got no idea.
Yeah, no idea. This song is called Thor. It's the Powerhead. Thor, the Powerhead. You've got to say that when you're playing Man O' War. So it's probably a good time to go and get a cup of tea. But here is the one and only Man O' War playing at the wonderful Glasgow Apollo.
clouds on the horizon, great thunder and burning rain, his chariot pounding, I heard the heavens scream his name. I watched as he shouted to the giants who died that day. He held up his hammer high and called to Odin for a sign. For the mighty, for the great, the infidels in your head. By your hammer, let them be saved. Live to die on that final day. God's monsters and men will die together in the end. God of thunder, God of rain, Earthshaker who feels no pain. Power head of the universe, now send your never-ending curse. I watched as he shouted to the giants who died that day. He held up his hammer high and called to Odin for a sign. For the mighty, for the brave, crush the invaders in your way. By your hammer, let them be saved. Live to die on that final day. Gods, monsters, and men will die together in the end. Swing your hammer to crack the sky. Lift your cape so they do not die. Back to Odin and the gods on high, and leave the mortal world. For the mighty, for the brave, crush the infidels in your way. By your hammer, let them be saved. Live to die on that final day. Gods, monsters, and men will die together in the end.
Well, that was a nice little pop ditty.
Wake up!
Grief, man. Get
Well,
off.
I just said in the chat there, it's not a million miles away from Iron Maiden and Priest.
No, it's
Definitely not.
not. But it's like them with the talent taken out, you know.
He's some singer though.
Oh, yeah. What was the guitar solo was just
Oh,
ridiculous.
I don't know what the guitar solo was going on there.
Ricky said, "Just grew a beard and forged myself a sword listening to Man of War." Yes,
From his
James.
beard.
That's what I imagine it would be like. The music would be like when I enter the gates of hell and you get introduced to the Lord Satan. Yes, yeah, I think, and I think you're right. There is Ian, definitely some Dio and Dickinson in there. I think, as you say,
Yeah.
probably being coached by those guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, interesting.
That was, I don't think I could take a
5 hours and 1 minute.
no. Was
No.
it the longest heavy metal concert in, where did you say, Hungary?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, or was it the longest heavy metal concert ever?
I think it's ever, as in
Mm.
globally in the universe. But they would say in the universe, in the cosmos.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they would say.
No, they would say in this realm.
But they've sold 20 million albums.
Good on them, man.
They've made a good living out of that. Good on them. Well, I hope they've made a good living out of it.
Yeah.
And they're definitely
Well,
dedicated to their fans. So good on them. So it looks like we haven't been kicked out, which is terrific. Because I was genuinely worried that we'd get kicked out with one of these two tracks.
At the start there, you might have seen my head way down, but I was trying to listen to see if it was in stereo.
Right.
If it was an actual recording.
Look what Dave's just put. Has Man of War finished yet? Yes.
No, we've still got 4 hours and 55
They're
minutes.
still going. And actually, we had, just to finish this bit on Man of War. I'm sorry if you're a Man of War fan. I think Derek quite likes them. One of the guys on the web page said, "I'll have to admit that I bought all of their records and really enjoyed them. They took themselves way too seriously, and it's probably the lowest Apollo audience I've ever been at. But I thought they were great."
Was this from the website?
It's from the website. I had a wee look because there was a few comments about them. So and
that's before there was social media.
Aye. God.
It was.
So total change with the final piece tonight, because we're gonna have one of the guys who I can't believe I've not played anything with this guy yet. We're going to have the one and only Rory Gallagher on next. Now, this is a guy who is a legend at the Apollo. Everybody loved him. He died in '95. If you don't know who he was an Irish blues genius, born in County Donegal. Started off in a band called Taste, but soon ended up going solo. He sold, now this is the bit that's interesting, mate. He sold over 30 million albums, so only 10 million more than Man of War. Yeah,
only 10 million more.
Only 10 million more. In '75, after Mick Taylor died, the Stones, he did go along just to see what was going on, he says, about the Stones, but he never ended up in the band, decided to stay on his own. I could see him in the Stones, but I'm glad he didn't.
I was going to say, I wouldn't have seen him fitting in the Stones.
He liked to drink. He liked to drink, man.
Yeah, but he's got a wee bit of a different style from Keith.
And he's not a rock and roller, is he? He's a blues man.
He's more. I mean, the Stones are a bit laid back. He's more.
Yeah, he's at it.
Face,
up and at it.
Punch you in the face with a Fender Strat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the funny thing that I didn't appreciate, that he actually had quite well documented problems with his confidence. And
did he?
Yeah, he was really, really worried that he was a perfectionist. And it got him into quite a lot of trouble because he just wouldn't do things because he didn't think it was right. He thought it was off, and he was constantly doubting himself. This picture here is though after the gig when he played in '82 and he got awarded the Sold Right Out trophy here.
Yeah.
I don't know who the girl is.
I like how he's playing a power chord on that.
he does look like a
power chord.
Yeah. Well done. So
I watched a bit of Rory Gallagher in the week there. He was doing. I'm doing some listening in a band I'm in, and I was doing a Tore Down blues song, Tore Down, and it was. I was watching him doing it was a live gig, Top Pop or something. It was good, and I was thinking, man, you're mental. You just he was great. He was great guitarist,
unbelievable, and
just jamming the whole thing. It was like 8 minutes of just jamming and looking at the drummer. That was great, really good. Yeah.
And I remember I saw him in Edinburgh. I never saw him at the Apollo, but I remember everybody raving about him at the Apollo because he played like for 2.5 hours, and
Yeah.
you know, and then they had it on the Tom Russell show. So I'm going to play the album he released in '82 when this tour was called Jinx, and this was one of the tracks on the album, appropriately called Bourbon. So I'm going to play that. The reason I'm playing it will become immediately clear when you hear it right away. It'll become clear why I chose it. But I hope you enjoy this. This is not Man O' War. This is a genius.
Hi, it's Tom Russell here, and once again welcome to The Rock Show. Tonight we're devoting the entire 2 hours to one guy and his band. His name is Rory Gallagher, and last month he played an astonishing set at the Glasgow Apollo. Radio Clyde's mobile studio was there, and tonight you can hear the results of that recording. Just after the 1am news, we'll hear the conversation I had with Rory just before he stepped on stage. But for now, exclusive to Radio Clyde, Rory Gallagher live in concert.
Trying to grab a beat in the nose, they're gonna stop. Smallest time is blood, the one
Well, that would have been
Thank you!
bonkers.
A very good evening. It's like we're back in Glasgow, back in the Apollo. Good to see you.
Had to leave that on. It's
Brilliant.
absolutely fantastic. I always thought that his guitar style was almost incomprehensible because he played so much and so easily. You know, he was so fluent when he played guitar. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
A few comments about that. Derek's saying Rory toured like non-stop from day one. He did, and it probably ended up helping to kill him because he was so into it, wasn't he? Barry's saying, if you want to hear real live albums, listen to any Rory's live albums. The actual one that is on it's actually an official album now. I'll put it in the chat. There's a fan site of his that's got a little thing about it here. It's called theshadowplays.com. If you go in there, they've lifted a whole load from our website and they've credited us, Andy. It's cool. But there's a good review there of him and stuff. There's somebody saying that Rory was actually up for, hang on, I'm having slight problems with this chat tonight. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's not working properly. Here we go. This one. Here we go. Ian's saying that Rory was top of David cover versions list to replace Blackmore and Deep Purple.
Wow.
Can't imagine that.
No, I can't imagine.
Dave always
that.
Dave did make a bollocks of Shite Snake as well, but not so
Well,
sure.
I'm sure he's worried from his mansion in LA.
Exactly.
In Nevada or somewhere, you know.
And Facebook users saying Rory would have been perfect in the Stones. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When the Stones did start off much more blues, didn't they?
But not high energy like that.
No, but I still think it would have been good though. I think it would have been. I think it would have worked. I think he was a genius, so I think he could have made it work. Dave's saying Rory was brilliant. Never got to see him live though, and I only ever saw him once, and he was just magical. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I only saw him because Apollomemories was a big fan. He was an Irish guy, a mate of mine. Said, "Oh, we need to go to this gig." And it was a good gig. I didn't even really know his music that well, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, if you miss it by a couple of years, 3 years, you've missed it.
You've missed
in,
it
in those days. But now you could just go.
So
Google.
Yeah, that's us done over an hour again, mate. We're getting in the habit of doing more than an hour a week now. It's getting easier to do longer. That's I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Anyway,
is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Well, people are still tuning in.
We're waffling a bit more.
Yeah. We're more relaxed, Andy.
Yeah,
that's the professional thing to say. So we hope you enjoyed the show this week. As always, we're going to have our after show mayhem. The Zoom link is at the top of the website at the Facebook group, and I will put it back on here. We'll be there in about 3 or 4 minutes. And if you come into that, you must drink alcohol-free gin. And I've got mine in my gin bottle this week. But it'd be nice if you could join us. And
says Raymond can't do it tonight.
Oh, devastating. But I don't think I'll be that long tonight either because I've got stuff on tomorrow as well. But never mind. Please join us. It'd be great if you could come in. And as I said, I'm going to be, not next week, but the following week, going to be in Scotland. So if anyone would like to come in to St Andrews or live around about that area and do a video, I'd be delighted for that to happen. But thanks very much for tuning in. My name is Scott MacArthur, and this was the Apollomemories show, Glasgow Polo Live.
You got that right. And my name's Andy Muir.
Yeah, well, sometimes you've got to pretend you know what you're talking about.